Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So overall, the market sentiment is, pretty good right now as we do kind of break over 31K. I'm not getting bullish too, crazy just yet. Like in my opinion, we still have a long ways to go on Bitcoin before we actually do get bullish. I'm still waiting for like 33 to 34K to be tested before we have a nice swing in the lows. I do believe that that is when we do get that last major, and I say major, buy opportunity on altcoins, and that's when we will see Quant at like roughly $30 to $50 yet again. That is the perfect time to really kind of accumulate Quant. But also, if you are long term, it doesn't really matter at which price as long as you're getting in at like under $100 for an example. It's a perfect time to accumulate Quant, similar to what I did say during the last dip on Quant. Like for an example, at around this range here, I was accumulating QNT as well because of how nice the chart did look, and we did kind of swing trade this. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I took some profit off of that just to kind of get my initial investment out when I did invest at this range, and then I just let that kind of ride out. And I think that that is like the best way to kind of do things. If you do see a nice swing within the chart, it's always nice to kind of get your initial investment out and just kind of ride profits, because again, I was accumulating massively back here, so this bag didn't really matter too much and it wasn't a significant buy. But I am accumulating yet again on QNT because I do believe that these prices are pretty significant. Also, they are around my buy range back here anyway, so like my average price is not drastically being changed by this. But I do want to talk to you guys about some significant things with Quant, so let's kind of move on and let's talk about a few things. So there's one specific comment that I get constantly, and that is, why would I buy QNT when it is an ERC20 token? And I want you guys to understand that although, things will be built out on like Ethereum, for an example, it doesn't mean that they are stifled by Ethereum statistics, by the way, right? When we look at things happening here, first off, I see a growing QNT misinformation. Shout out to SonNL11 for this. It's ERC20 but can switch to another chain in an afternoon, not hindered by Ethereum, saves 93% of gas fees for clients. It is not a blockchain. It is only limited by the internet itself. It's real time, fractions of a second finality, and can handle a billion transactions per second. Sorry, excuse me. We do see here the QNT token. Yes, it is an ERC20 token, but it can transition because it is blockchain agnostic. And they, did choose Ethereum because, of course, it was the mostly widely utilized blockchain with well-established integration for wallets and exchanges. So it just had that trustworthy factor. Yes, this will be able to transition over to anything else. Like, for an example, you'll be able to see this on, like Hedera, for an example, because I know that a lot of individuals love Hedera. But ultimately, I think that for the time being, I think it's totally fine on Ethereum. Again, it's not being stifled or anything like that by the technology stack. And of course, you guys can see this, Overledger Network will also get around the Ethereum scalability and high gas fees by implementing trustless unidirectional payment channels. This enables scalability for payments for transaction fees in Quant or in QNT, with the vast majority of transactions being performed off-chain instantly, with only minimal transactions being done on-chain, as the opening and closing of channels and random reconciliation. So again, at the end of the day, like, you're not going to see $2,000 for an example in terms of like gas fees by utilizing like the Overledger network, because they've actually built out a major platform around this, and of course they've seen the solution that was needed for this. And also on the last slide, you guys can kind of see this as well. It's based on like Kubernetes technology, which was originally designed by Google. So this makes it highly scalable and things like that. When we talk about things happening around this, I really do believe that Overledger, in terms of scalability and in terms of like interoperability, it's like the #1 choice here. And it doesn't really matter if it is, like I said, an ERC20 token, because they've gotten around all of the inefficiencies of the Ethereum network. So to me personally, yes, it is an ERC20 token, but it could be any token technically because of how blockchain agnostic it actually is. So I hope that kind of answers that concern. We also do see here, I know the QNT community will like this one by David Schwartz, and we are seeing here, Cisco rose to dominance against competitors because they could make existing legacy systems connect to the internet, while competitors require you to build new internet-like networks. Today, most networks look like the internet, but we need interoperability to get there. And yes, when we talk about things happening around, for example, crypto, I do believe that this is an area to focus on where we kind of look at Quant as the internet of blockchains or the network of networks. That statement is true. Like when we talk about things happening right now around, crypto, we will need that interconnectivity between the legacy systems and DLTs, similar to how we needed that, interconnectivity layer between legacy systems and the internet. And it's ever more, true today than ever before. And also, just so that you guys can see the comments over here. So, are you saying that QNT would be the best interoperability solution, especially being an ERC20 token running on top of an unreliable Ethereum blockchain? Again, like I said, a lot of individuals are extremely misinformed on a lot of these major, assets. And again, if you just look at things in, a broad spectrum, instead of like kind of really looking at things in like, this one-minded, mindset, like, oh, it's an ERC20 token, it's nothing, you're going to miss out on incredible opportunities in this market. I'm telling you guys, pay attention to the tech stacks behind some of these, assets. Now, also, I do want to share with you guys this article going back roughly almost a year ago, August 7th, 2021, by Jennifer Obem. And this is talking about Quant network blockchain interoperability at universal scale. Now, as we do see down here, over the past few years, the blockchain ecosystem has witnessed explosive growth in implementing several use cases from DeFi to NFTs, Web3, and many emerging applications. However, this growth has intensified the need for blockchain interoperability due to the isolative design of blockchains. Again, like I said, when we talk about the use cases around crypto, it's very, very alluring, right? You look at DeFi, you look at NFTs, you look at Web3, and it's great. We love to talk about these use cases because there's so many of them. Incredible opportunities as well when you look at like tokenization of like many markets, and I love to talk about tokenization. You guys are probably all aware of this, but there's one specific need, and that is interoperability. For all of these use cases to truly see their vision and their value, we still need an interoperability. And we do see down here, these limitations pose the following questions. Is there an interoperability solution capable of connecting varieties of blockchains without sacrificing sovereignty or being limited by restrictive rules? Can an interoperability solution exist without introducing another blockchain, new complexities, frameworks, or numerous bridges? And yes, we do see down here, this article shares a high-level overview of an arguably one-size-fits-all interoperability solution, Quant Networks over Ledger. I also explore future growth potentials in terms of Quant's token utility. And of course, we do see down here, they are mentioning, again, Gilbert Verdian's mission here. He's an impressive IT background, that cut across prestigious private and public sector institutions like Price Waterhouse, Coopers, Ernst & Young's, HSBC, BP Oil. Owing to his vast and rich experiences with enterprise DLT applications, he founded the ISO, standard TC307 for blockchains in 2016, currently adopted by over 57 countries. Yeah, that's right. You've seen that right. Over 57 countries. Significant. Now, of course, we do see Overledger down here in terms of like the maps 1, maps 2, maps 3, etc. Overledger, the first generation of blockchain, second generation, and then interoperability blockchains. Basically, everything will be interconnected. And we do see here the big question was how an enterprise blockchain could solve for future needs of bearing institutions seamlessly. Well, that's where Overledger came in. And here's the goals of it. It's pretty simple. Developing an API to connect numerous blockchains to the rest of the world's networks, establishing a link between current networks such as financial services and new blockchains, and designing a new blockchain operating system that includes a protocol and a platform for building multi-chain apps of the future. This is that massive tech stack that I tell you guys to continue to watch for, because when we talk about these tech stacks, these are going to be, outlaid over the legacy systems and the operating systems of tomorrow and today. All of this will be interconnected through, Overledger. And it's pretty significant when you look at things because this is basically, again, a one-size-fits-all. The Overledger stack is significant. And this is going to unlock massive amounts of value. I want you guys to understand that this is actually going to allow for massive amounts of value to be transacted. And I do think that tokenomics definitely matter, especially in terms of long-term holds. And like I said, 33% less supply than Bitcoin. It's a no-brainer, move to me. Now, let's talk a little bit about DLT interoperability. So, this goes back a little bit in time. This is actually posted back in November of 2021, and I actually talked to you guys about this article at that time. But it is DLT interoperability. What are the options? Now, of course, we do see, DLNs, distributed ledger networks, don't exist in silos. Increasingly, they need to be interconnected or connected to legacy systems, distributed file stores, and other DLNs. But at the moment, most DLT implementations don't work together, presenting a huge barrier to adoption. To bridge the gap, the World Economic Forum has proposed 3 DLT interoperability categorizations. In our white paper, DLT interoperability, what are the options? We look at each of these categories. Now, for you guys that missed this article, you guys could download this if you want. But to sum it up, I actually talked to you guys a little bit about it. And we do see actually over here a quote from this. Quant Overledger is the preeminent instance of API gateway categorization. Now, of course, they talked about oracles. They talked about, APIs. They talked about pretty much everything that we have right now before our eyes, right? And I've always told you guys, like, yes, I continue to stack Chainlink. I think that Chainlink is great. I think that it's great for retail individual use cases and things like that. But also, I stack Quant. I don't look at these two as competitors. In fact, they're in their own lanes. But I will say this, Quant has, over the time that we've been invested in it, has absolutely killed the idea that oracles will be utilized as an interoperability layer or use case within finance and payments and things that are happening around DLTs. And that is because API gateways are the easiest plug and play option for these massive giants. As think about it like this: as a financial institution, why would you, go through the trouble of hiring an IT department to come in and try to connect and develop and basically code in an interoperability layer? It makes no sense. So having an API gateway that's 3 lines of code, that's plug and play, they don't have to change anything internally in terms of their systems, that is going to be the game changer. And that's what Quant is. That's why when we talk about mass adoption of DLTs and crypto in general, we still look at, interoperability as the pivotal moment in time. You will not get, and I say this very strongly, you will not get mass adoption of any of these assets in the space. So say for so right now, you are like, all right, well, I can't decide between XRP and HBAR to invest my money in. Well, guess what? You don't need to. Because at the end of the day, okay, all of these, networks, all of these settlement tokens, if you will, all of these tokens that are powering massive ecosystems, all of these tokens will succeed. Or I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of the utility gems, right, will succeed. But the thing is that what really kind of makes them succeed is having that interoperability landscape designed out for these to be interconnected with, again, the legacy systems and the systems that we utilize on a day-to-day basis. Because a lot of these, assets that we talk about, like XRP and even HBAR, right, and even XLM, etc., right, are trying to do things with the legacy system. They're trying to disrupt cross-border payments, trade finance, etc. And you don't get that without interoperability. This is why Quant is the key that unlocks the doors to mass adoption. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all, have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.